guys, John Bennett here. Today we're going to go over the best natural fire tinder. So stay tuned. Hey, we got a white birch here. It's also called canoe birch, river birch, or paper birch. And you can see how it's just peeling right off. That peels off naturally. It's a very fine bark, very fine bark. You don't want to peel off that bark too early. Well, when it's just hanging there like this on an older tree, that's perfect for fire tending. Now, it's been raining here for at least 2 or 3 days, just downpouring, rain and rain, everything's soaked. Everything's wet. And I have some birch in here also, and this is all wet, but it's all birch. So I'm going to see what I can do about getting this fire started after a couple of days of hard rain. So I have some char cloth here. Made char cloth in another video. So there it is. It's easy to spark. Just tap 2 rocks together pretty much and you'll get a spark on that and it'll start embering. We're going to start it like that. And I got more to light my fire I've been using for a while. Excuse the dirtiness. But it's a nice, it reminds me of a big paring knife. Doesn't it? Looks like a paring knife. It's a pretty decent bushcraft knife though. For cutting wood, you can get in the nice little crinks and stuff like those big survival knives. You can't do it like that. It has a unique grind. See here at the end, from here up, see the darker part? That's all ground down. So that point is at a sharper edge. It's good for cutting meat, getting in the notches, cutting notches and stuff. But it also has ferrocerium rod at the end. And I'll go over ferrocerium in a future video. But it has one of those on there and you can strike it. It's pointing the edge at a 45-degree angle, striking off. All you need is one of these little bitty sparks to catch that char cloth, and that'll start an ember on that char cloth and we can get that going. So all I need is one of those little bitty sparks. So I'll go ahead and get that started with that, like that. You can see several different embers starting there. Ooh, that's getting hot already, so let's put it in this way I got. I'm just gonna crumble it up in there. You can see it already smoking. I'm gonna put this lighter, finer stuff on here. It's choice spark. And we'll give it a blow and see where she goes. And we have flame over here. Very good. We'll just tip it up so we can lick that flame to the other birch. And there we go. And that's all wet. All soaked. You can hear it crackling. I'm going to throw that in there. Throw lightly a couple more pieces of birch on there. I'm going to lay my fire over. We'll let that burn for a minute and see what we get. This is not only wet ground, it's wet charcoal in the fire pit, wet birch bark with wet birch bark twigs. So this is all wet. It's been raining, like I said, and I don't know how many inches, but it was just downpouring yesterday. And you can see I didn't blow any more onto that or nothing. I just blew it to a flame and that was it. And that's that birch bark. It's just amazing stuff. It's the best fire tinder I've ever seen. And that is an ongoing flame. All right, I can go gather some more birch twigs. Keep that going. But it took nothing to light. It took nothing. A little bit of char cloth, spark off my ferro rod. This is all soaked. And it's still flaming. It's still lit a fire. Go try that with any other bark, any other wood, maple, oak, even the softer ones, cottonwood. You know, it's not gonna inflame like that. Birch is just amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Now I grab my pot, I throw it on a flame. I got these old charred, and they're all birch. These old charred ones, I can throw this right here, lean that up there, get those embers dried out, warmed up, and throw the pot right on. And those are soaked too, so, you know, it is just amazing stuff. I have some thicker birch, the tree limb, a branch, it's rotten and all the center fell out, so this is just the core of it, and it is wet too. It's wet also. Let's see what that does right on top. Right to flame. It is just amazing, amazing stuff. Now if I had that birch bark and I'd processed it a little more and got that fine powder on that lay, let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. You get a piece of birch bark like this, and it's the outer bark, this frilly stuff right here, that's really combustible. So you take a knife and you scrape it into a pile. See all that right there falling? That is all that lighter stuff. You put that into a small pile and you knock two rocks together, you'll get that going. The same thing with the char cloth. All you need is just one or two little bitty sparks. I got, and this ain't a big ferro rod. This is a small ferro rod. Okay, and they don't give out monster sparks either. All I need is one little spark on that char cloth to catch that char cloth on fire, or excuse me, on ember. And from there, I can just keep blowing at it and keep going. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscription button, notification bell, like, and leave a question or comment at the bottom.